I've been looking for old clips on the telly on YouTube, as you know, and it got me reminiscing about television in the old days and how, when Sandra and I were children, there was a children's television programme which, of course, got us very het up and overexcited, as it did the whole country, and that was of course, Doctor Who, and it used to be on after the sport, which was on television all afternoon in those days on BBC, on the grandstand programme. And I can remember that the anticipation of Doctor Who coming on was so great that just the signature tune at the end of grandstand was enough to get us excited because we knew what was coming next. So I thought I would recapture that by playing you the grandstand theme followed by the original Doctor Who titles. So here we go.
1 o'clock.
Sorry about that rather pregnant pause in the middle. I wasn't sure whether grandstand had finished or not. Yes, so we used to get so excited about that, and of course we were watching it on a television, not this very one, but on an identical model. And that got me thinking, what else did we used to associate with television in those days? When my mother's parents were keeping the Roebuck in Chapel on Frith Marketplace, we used to go across at the weekends because Mother used to help in the evenings on Saturday nights, and we used to with my cousin, sit in one of the sitting rooms upstairs in the pub, and watch that sort of Saturday tea time television. And there were a couple of programmes that I remember from that. One was, of course, The Fugitive. Who remembers The Fugitive? All about the man who'd been wrongly convicted of a murder, looking for a one-armed man who'd been seen running away from the scene of the crime when his wife had been murdered. I found the opening of that on YouTube as a clip, but there wasn't really a signature tune. It was just sort of a rather rambling account of how the poor man had got into such a dire straits with half of American police force looking for him. But there was another one that I remember, and I don't remember what they did, because I can't remember that much can happen in these circumstances. But it was all on a submarine, and it was the programme Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. And they used to spend all their time wandering around the deck of this submarine with this thing making strange sort of pinging noises. And every so often they'd hit a rough patch and all sort of fall over. And it seemed to be the same every week as far as I remember. But I found the opening titles to that. So who remembers this one?
Bottom of the sea.
I noticed a date in those titles of 1967, which would put me at 11 years old when that was being watched. No, it wouldn't. What am I talking about? 13 years old. Anyway, what else did I find? There were one or two other things. Excuse me, it's a bit difficult this because the YouTube screen doesn't fit the television ratio, and I've just moved the menu options, so I've got lost. I'm going to pause the video for a second. Right, I'm back on the straight and narrow. Now, this was a great favourite of my father. Who remembers this?
Untouchables, a Desilu production. Tonight's episode, the Frank Nitti story, starring Robert Stack as Elliot Ness, co-starring Richard Anderson, Myron McCormick, and Dick Foran, with special guest star Bruce Gort, and narrated by Walter Winchell.
In 1934, Prohibition had been repealed, and the Capone mob, without its leader, serving time at Alcatraz prison, was desperate for new sources of revenue. With the instinct of jackals for an easy kill, they picked the nation's small theater owners for their prey. The type of operation used was one they knew best, extortion.
Oh, stirring stuff, eh? I think Father liked it because the idea of Eliot Ness being incorruptible was a romantic notion, and of course it came with lots of guns and car crashes, so that was even better. And now I found something else that I think sums up the period too. We all know this one, don't we? So that's the end of this little burst of unashamed nostalgia for 1960s television on a piece of period equipment. So that's all for today anyway. See you all very soon. Bye for now.